Have you ever had the experience of feeling as though you have visited a person before, despite the fact that it is your very first time meeting them? You are able to pick up on their unique energy, and despite the fact that you are unable to precisely identify what is so eerily familiar, your heart suggests that it is something that should be taken into consideration. This phenomenon is known as déjà vu, and many people believe that it is your previous life reverberating through the levels of your mind. It is not just people who are affected by this peculiar occurrence. When you go to a location, you can get the impression that you have been there before. It is possible for even a life scenario to manifest itself in a way that gives you the impression that you have previously encountered it in the past. In spite of the fact that it has been classified by science as a glitch in memory, the concept of a spirit that has endured through many incarnations of reincarnation in order to finally achieve salvation has been passed down from generation to generation by spiritual leaders and sages. The truth of reincarnation is going to be revealed today, along with the ways in which you might gain insight into your previous lifetimes and put that information to use for your own advantage in this life and beyond. As soon as you finish watching this video, you will have acquired knowledge about a unique meditation technique that consists of 3 steps. This technique will help you achieve all of your spiritual goals, including your desire to learn about your previous lifetimes. Now let's begin with a question, shall we? Are you aware of the characteristics that set you apart from other animals and what makes you a unique human being? It is your capacity to think, to reflect, and to consciously progress until you eventually reach your higher self, which is the other half of you that continues to exist in the immaterial aspect of your being. If you do not engage in this process of introspection and education, you will return to your origins, your animal nature. But how many persons do we actually witness developing in their mental processes and consciousness? A handful, possibly. You may have heard stories about them, but you might not have encountered any such individual in real life. This is because man has forgotten his purpose, his dharma. He has become a neurotic wreck and is now being cruelly eaten by the emotions of survival. Fear, greed, competition, falsehoods, and dishonesty. The unquenchable thirst of pressing ahead at the price of the well-being of others. That's not what a human is, and neither was he given such superior mental faculties that he would waste his potential by behaving like an animal. An animal is a being dominated by its inherent urge to survive. Thus, that's what its entire career revolves around. Nature has wired the animal in such a way that it can only think about its safety and reproduction. That's the purpose nature is striving to complete through the animals, the continuation of species at all costs. But for a person, it's different. A human can transcend its survival instincts and aspire for greater. The modern world, however, runs in such a way that your reptilian brain is always engaged, forcing you to restrict your focus on the immediate risks and discomforts rather than achieving substantial change in the long term. Until you comprehend that you are much more than your fear and ego, you cannot make progress and tap into your incredible potential. Everyone and everything in this universe serves a very distinct role. Nothing is here for no cause. There is a heavenly intelligence orchestrating this performance. Everything fills a hole in this cosmos. So have you ever thought about what your higher mission is? The money, success, and connections you desire are one component. The other is your spiritual progress that has been going on forever. You are not a body but a soul wearing flesh to play a part in this reality. There are innumerable other realms, and your soul has experienced many of them. Through every existence, your soul accumulated some vital lessons through unique encounters and activities. These lessons are your actual value. It's the only item you have been carrying when you shifted dimensions previously, and it sure is the only thing you will take away when you leave your human outfit behind on this world. That's your only cherished possession along this endless adventure. So is there anything more essential than knowing about the deep wisdom that is inscribed onto the fabric of your spirit? There surely isn't. The former incarnations you have experienced are a vital source of information that could drastically alter the trajectory of your present existence and prepare you for spiritual awakening. That gets us to the next hot topic that so many people and detractors of reincarnation specifically ask. If our past incarnations were such an essential source of knowledge, then why don't we remember any of them at all? Why does a person have to participate in hypnosis or deep meditation to expose the truths that are so vital to his spiritual development. Why do we forget things in the first place? The truth is, we don't require such recollections in vivid clarity. We merely need to know the lessons learned. Learning and reliving memories of prior incarnations can be difficult. You might have done something extremely wrong or might have been a victim of some horrific injustice. If your mind had consciously and fully remembered each and every detail relative to those circumstances, you wouldn't be able to live as you are. You could have been plagued by debilitating worry guilt or a profound melancholy that would have rendered you incapable of functioning as a normal human in this lifetime. Hans Wilhelm, the respected author, argues that because of the divine kindness of the infinite consciousness, we are purposely insulated from those specifics so that our lives in this realm might continue properly. Secondly, by arriving into this domain of time and space, our ability to grasp other dimensions has been substantially decreased. For instance, we find every scientist and philosopher conceding that neither is time linear nor is it real. But can you genuinely spend your life right here on the globe without having regard for time? The answer is no. The concept that time is linear and only moves in one direction has been the foundation upon which society and everything else in the world have been arranged. When you are in a condition of deep meditation, you might be able to catch glimpses of timelessness. Yet it is nearly difficult for our senses to live without time because they are so acclimated to the surroundings. In the same vein, there are a great number of other realities that we are simply unable to fathom due to the fact that our perception is quite limited. In other words, the veil of forgetting that separates us from our previous lifetimes is not an accident. Rather, it is a deliberate selection made by the infinite intelligence in order to provide us with the best possible opportunity to flourish in this mortal existence. There is a wide variety of approaches that can be taken in order to achieve the goal of incorporating significant life experiences from previous incarnations. Just a moment from now, we will go into that topic. It is common knowledge that Dr. Brian Weiss is a highly sought-after name in the field of former life regression. He is a hypnotist who has experience working with thousands of individuals, assisting them in accessing their previous incarnations. Weiss discusses the concept of reincarnation in his book, Many Lives, Many Masters. Prior to writing this book, Weiss was also skeptical of the concept of reincarnation. However, it was during a session of hypnosis when one of her patients, a woman called Catherine, experienced a regression into her previous version of herself. Not only did she discuss the path that her own soul had taken, but she also provided particular details about Weiss's family, all of which were completely accurate. Although Weiss was taken aback by the idea, he was sure that we are in fact everlasting souls that are traveling through a variety of incarnations and realms. In order to acquire the knowledge that we need from our experiences, we go through an endless number of cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. It is possible for a soul to select a specific physical experience for itself to be born into so that it can acquire the knowledge it is looking for in order to progress in its evolution. In our limited knowledge, death is the process by which the soul departs from the mortal body after these lessons have been learned. This is what we comprehend as death. In the same way that everything in this universe is energy, the soul is also an unadulterated and unadulterated pure essence. It was not born and it will not die. Yet in order to acquire wisdom, it will eventually manifest itself in an unlimited number of forms. The account of all the activities that a soul has committed throughout its existence and the repercussions of those actions is known as its karma. During this lifetime, a soul that has caused harm to another soul might be able to avoid the consequences of its actions, but this is not the case forever. There will come a time when the soul will make the decision to reincarnate into the physical world in order to rectify the debt and acquire the fundamental lesson. According to Dr. Weiss, it is possible that groups of souls have a tendency to reincarnate together on multiple occasions until they have sufficiently worked on their karmas on their own. The connections that are closest to a person and put them through the most stress are likely to be the most significant lessons that he has to learn on an energetic level. It is interesting to note that Michael Newton, a highly respected psychologist and hypnotherapist, discussed the same concept in his book, which lends even more support to the hypothesis. According to Michael, when clients tell me how much they have suffered as a result of the actions of family members, the first question that I ask to their conscious mind is, If you had not been exposed to this person as a child, what would you now lack in understanding? Although it could take some time, the solution is already in our heads. In the same way that some sorts of people are assigned to be in close proximity to us as adults, there are spiritual reasons for our upbringing as youngsters in the presence of particular kinds of people. If you are always in a disagreement with a member of your family or a loved one who pushes you to your boundaries, it is important to take a moment to pause and think about the situation. Exists a lesson that the two of you can take away from that experience. This concept has the ability to completely alter the way you think about the interactions you have with other people who are human. Each and every human being is the unadulterated manifestation of the divine light. We begin our journey from that location, and it is there that we arrive at our final destination. When an individual's soul engages in behavior that is contrary to God, it effectively creates layers that obstruct the light that is pure. In proportion to the increasing thickness of this layer, the removal process becomes more time-consuming. It is for this reason that many souls continue to reincarnate again and over again, attempting to remove the layers of indoctrination and grime that they have accumulated over the course of their incarnations, whether they did so knowingly or unknowingly. The concept of samsara refers to the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth that is central to both Buddhism and Hinduism. Buddha referred to this cycle as suffering because it prevents the soul from achieving its actual purpose, which is referred to as moksha, which is the ultimate union with the divine. This occurs when the soul is continuously reincarnating for the same reason. The desire and attachment that people have are the root causes of suffering. The practice of meditation on a regular basis is a powerful instrument that not only allows you to learn about your previous lifetimes, but also helps you break the cycle of misery. A connection with your inner awareness, which extends far beyond the layers of the chaotic conscious mind, can be made possible by the practice of meditation, which calms down the racing thoughts and clears the noise. First things first, make sure you are seated in a calm and peaceful location where you will not be disturbed while you begin your meditation practice. Ensure that your shoulders are perpendicular to the ground and that your spine is tall. With this position, you will be better able to concentrate on the meditation. Inhale deeply, hold it for a little period, and then exhale it. This is the proper way to breathe. Before you finish taking the first breath, close your eyes in a gentle manner. Imagine that all of the healing frequencies, such as love, bliss, and enlightenment, are entering your body with each and every inhale and exhale. This is the first step of this particular meditation. Imagine that your body is washing out all of the negative energy. The heavy feelings and energy will gradually shift out of you, making room for inner peace and communion with the divine. As you take each fresh breath, you will experience a gradual increase in your sense of serenity during the process. Following the completion of the first phase, which involves achieving a more profound level of consciousness, through the practice of breathing, the next step is to unlock your Akashic records. They are the energetic log of your soul, and they store all of the extremely important information that you need to know in order to develop and flourish on a spiritual level. The ability to access the Akashic records not only prepares you on a spiritual level, but it also provides you with answers that have the potential to have a significant and favorable effect on your earthly existence. Have the aim of downloading information that will be of use to you from the Akashic records. Put your attention on your third eye while you are thinking about this intention. In the very center of your forehead is where you will find your third eye, which serves as a spiritual gateway to alternate dimensions. Your breath should be focused on this portal in order to open it. Imagine that all of the energy is being projected onto the location of the third eye as you take a deep breath or breath in. Visualize the area receiving a boost of vitality and revitalization as a result of your all-powerful breath. If you breathe into this region for a longer period of time, the activation of the third eye will occur for you more quickly. Nonetheless, you should not anticipate that it will be successfully activated during your very first meditation session. Consider it as if you were working out at the gym to build muscle. If you want to see the fruits of your compounded efforts, you need to put in the necessary amount of time and effort every day. Because of this, every spiritual master has advised for the practice of performing meditation on a daily basis. If you do not maintain consistency in your practice, you will not be able to achieve the spiritual progress that you are going for. Following a brief period of time spent concentrating on your third eye, it is now time to move on to the third and final stage of your meditation practice. The purpose of this one is to help you open your heart so that you can be in a state of being that is open to receiving love and blessings from intellect that is boundless. Only love exists in the world. Nothing is more than love. It's the frequency at which everything in the cosmos vibrates the hum. The energy of God is what it is. Love is the energy that you need to fully embrace in order to accomplish your goal of releasing your karmic debt and detaching yourself from pain. Focus all of your concentration on the middle of your chest. Place it there. You can find your heart chakra in this location. In the same way that you did in order to activate the third eye, take a few deep breaths into your heart and then bring about an emotion of forgiveness for everyone and everything. When you do this, you are able to forgive yourself, your past, and the people who may have caused you pain in the past. What does it mean to truly forgive? It is the realization that every creation has its own unique approach to learning and producing, and that they are entitled to make mistakes just like I am with my own. The process of maturation is not flawless, and you need to be aware of this fact in order to avoid remembering people for the hurt that you have thought they should have caused you in the past. Michael Newton, Memories of the Afterlife. Make sure to give love to everyone you know at this particular moment. As you continue to do so, you will become aware of the sensation that your heart is expanding, as if it is growing larger out of the optimism and radiance of love. You should be seeking for that very sensation by the time you reach the conclusion of your meditation session. This will allow you to securely plant the seed of love in both your mind and your spirit. Your meditation should be practiced on a daily basis until it becomes a habit for you. After you have begun to go deeper into each of the 3 stages of this meditation, the mysteries of your previous lifetimes will start to reveal themselves to you in the most unexpected manner. It is likely that you may experience feelings of being encompassed by a higher loving presence, as well as seeing signs and synchronicities. All of these are signs that you are getting closer to your authentic self by transcending your humanness and becoming more unaffected by it. After you have gotten the hang of your daily meditations, you will be able to start asking specific questions to the Ascended Masters or your spirit guides through the practice, and you will start receiving answers to those questions, once again in the form of synchronicities and indications. It is a terrific way to align your spiritual understanding to your benefit to learn about your past lifetimes, and if you are not studying this route, you are certainly losing out on something that could change your life forever. To answer your question, have you ever been through something that brought to your attention a previous life that you had lived? Please feel free to share your mystical tale with others in the comments section below. And until we meet again, continue to develop and acquire new knowledge.